video interview, we are having a look at walking process with writing self-forgiveness and practical application in assessing one's current starting point, meaning the starting point of walking process is assisting and supporting self in bringing self back to self as all the parts, manifestations and expressions that is here within this physical manifested existence that are which we have separated ourselves from, and within that equality and oneness with ourselves as all that is here, walk the process of assisting and supporting such parts of ourselves to walk their process of bringing themselves back to themselves in living equality and oneness. And then as each part stand within and as that equality and oneness, we're all as individuals, humans, animals, existence, the physical, earth, water, everything, stand and live that starting point of equality and oneness. What manifests? Equality and oneness. Equality and oneness is not a externalized point in where we're going to create or manifest equality and oneness outside, meaning it's not something that can be placed as an externalized system only. Like, for example, the equal money system is a system that we are placing within this world, in this reality, that from a practical, physical perspective, assist and support human beings to physically live on this earth equal and one. However, that does not mean that it is the solution for humanity in terms of the process that we're walking as self, equality and oneness, in being equal to and one with all that is here as ourselves. And even with implementing the equal money system, it cannot be done unless human beings stand, live and express equality and oneness with self as all parts that's here within existence, in the living realization that all of this is me. Implementing and manifesting and walking the equal money system will be the gift I give to me to be able to live together on this earth, this physical existence, in a practical way, as and while and when many are still walking their processes of self-equality and oneness. So even with implementing the equal money system, it can and will only manifest if many stand together in the actual realization of equality and oneness. Now, if one hear what we are explaining, we're not here to save, to rescue, or help human beings, this world, this existence. Equality and oneness is a practical, common sense living and walking. It is the realization that I am responsible for me, this me, in the realization that this me is this physical manifested existence. I have neglected me within myself and this existence as myself, and I require to take responsibility to direct me as myself, as all, into an effective living directive expression where we can all live together as ourselves, equal and one. This is not a matter of wanting, desiring, or needing to change this existence, or change this world, or this earth, or humanity. This is not about wanting to change what is here as an external desire, want, and need. It is simply a practical, common sense realization. So, for context, us in the interdimensions have walked our process of speaking and self-forgiveness and communication in terms of walking our processes within this physical manifested existence. And what we've realized is that we've been walking our self-forgiveness in our speaking, in our communication, in our actions, with wanting to get into the physical and change human beings and change the world and change existence, and wanting to get this process done so that we can all be equal and one and live free and be happy eternally. And thus, in essence, if one simply consider what it is that I'm showing you, is that that very starting point is placing ourselves in an authoritative, godlike, egotistical position of saying, I'm going to get into the physical, I'm going to get into the human being, and I'm going to change what is here. That's not in any way considering the physical, the human, this existence, in the beings, the manifestations, the expressions that are already here, walking their individual processes. That any part, any person, any expression wanting to walk in here and simply take over is again going into separation through superiority, authority, and God consciousness. Within that, there is no way that one is able to change, direct, or move, or actually assist and support anything or anyone, because within that also, you're not getting to know the human being. We're not getting to know this existence, the physical. There's no equal and one relationship that is in fact being formed with these parts of myself. All I'm doing is saying, I'm going to step in and I'm going to take over. And that very action is accepted and allowed separation, because the key is for us to stand within ourselves as individuals and to within that stand together. But how is me going, I'm going to change the world, I'm going to step in, take over, direct control and move what is here, in any way recognizing or seeing or realizing that point that these parts are me, I'm supposed to be walking with them together in getting this done. So what we've realized within our starting point of what we've walked is that we've been wanting to be God, we've been wanting to play God, and that our very self-forgiveness and our speaking, our communication, our actions were within this very context in literally wanting to play God and take over. And the more and more we walked our self-forgiveness and our practical applications and our communications, the more and more difficult it became to have any substantial effect within ourselves or our process here within this physical existence. The more inner conflict manifested, the more external conflict manifested, the more difficult we made it for ourselves, until eventually we got to facing this point where we realized that we have to give up this point of ourselves in wanting, needing, and desiring to change everything and everyone in getting this process done, because we're separating ourselves from ourselves, each other, and this existence as a whole within that very starting point. We're not getting to know ourselves, each other, what is here as ourselves, and we're not walking and working together in assisting and supporting the process, which is about establishing self-equality and oneness. It's about self, and then as self is walking, assist another part of self to walk equality and oneness, in that we can manifest this existence into an as which what it's always supposed to be, equality and oneness. We've just taken our starting point into separation, so we've got to stop that separation. And it's a very simple process. Again, equality and oneness is not about saving, changing, or rescuing existence. It is simply a directive principle to assist and support ourselves in this physical manifested existence in a living expression that consider and regard everything and everyone here. So have a look at the tendency of wanting to do your writing, your self-forgiveness, your practical application in wanting to change you to change the world. And within that whole process, what you're missing is firstly yourself, because your starting point is in wanting, needing, and desiring to change yourself. And if you're coming from that starting point, then you're already not changing, because you're in a want, need, and desire of it. Secondly, within that very want, need, and desire of wanting to change and needing and desiring to change yourself, you're not developing a self relationship or agreement in actually getting to know yourself, because you're already projected into the future of wanting, needing, and desiring to change yourself to change the world. So you're walking into a future in your mind that is not here in reality in any way whatsoever. So what is your starting point of self-forgiveness within this context is realizing that you're walking your self-forgiveness, forgiving you for separating you from yourself as yourself within and without, the consequences of that separation, so that within the separation and the consequence you can assist and support yourself to bring yourself back to yourself in equality and oneness, transform your living to a living example of equality and oneness, so that you can assist and support as a living example in showing other parts of yourself how to walk their equality and oneness. And you simply become a living example, a directive principle in how you've woken up from your separation, so to speak, or the consequence of that, in showing parts of you that there is another way. And within also having a look at how extensively throughout time in this world, in this reality, this whole point of wanting to change the world and save the world and making this a better place, there are so many variations of how this exists, which is simply indicating the amount of personalities we've created, developed, and manifested in our minds about changing this world and making it a better place and saving humanity, to the extent where we've even got religions and movements and spiritualities of these personalities made in this world, in this reality, where human beings are so lost within the illusion of wanting, needing, and desiring to change, transform, help, rescue human beings, humanity in this world and reality, that it's transformed into a belief, a self-religion, internally manifested into a religion externally, and everyone is wanting, needing, and desiring to change the world and living that want, need, and desire in a personality within and a system without, that no one is in fact practically doing anything in making an actual substantial change in this world and this reality that stands eternal, because the one point has been missed: ourselves. And even within saying, I want to change, transform, help, rescue, save the world in reality, make it a better place, is already missing the primary starting point, source, cause, origin of what is here as it exists, which is self. And we ourselves are the source, cause, and origin of this world and this reality. The proof is right here. We are the only ones in this physical existence participating in this physical existence within ourselves, our relationships, our interactions, our interrelationships, our social networks, the world systems. The more and more we are maintaining our internal and external realities, the more and more it will remain exactly the same. To assist and support ourselves with changing this world, meaning with directing ourselves as this existence into a living expression that is in fact best for all, is not going to happen through want, need, and desire in changing this world or humanity as a whole, or even a want, need, and desire to change self to change this world and this reality and this existence. It is about self-assisting and supporting self, in being equal and one with self, in transforming one's beingness, one's living, one's very starting point, all of self within self, that has been perpetuating, maintaining, creating, and manifesting this world as it exists now. How one do that is through assisting and supporting self and walking the process of getting to know self. Because again, in going into that personality and that system within and without of wanting, needing, and desiring to change this world without getting to know yourself within and without, there is no practical, sustainable way that you are in fact going to change this world. Meaning, one can hope, wish, pray, love the living shit out of your physical and your mind, and sit and fervently sweat the want, need, and desire to have this world be a better place, and nothing will change. Because we are walking this world and this reality as ourselves into being through our thinking, our reactions, our communications, our living, and within that as well of being ignorant and blind and uneducated in how this world and this reality as ourselves in fact work and functions, where everyone is so secluded and locked into their mind and their own little bubble world that no one knows really what the fuck is going on in this world and this reality. Everyone very easily sit back in their mind and hope, pray, and wish this world into correction, but no one is doing the actual practical physical effort of making a sustainable directive difference in this world and this reality that is in fact best for all. So, careful of the tendency to go into that future projected want, need, and desire to change this world, and walking that as your starting point for your writing and your self-forgiveness, because you're in that separating yourself from you within yourself. You're within that not really getting to know yourself, this world, and how it works and how it functions, in realizing that just by changing yourself is not going to change the world. You've got to assist and support yourself internally as well as externally. This is you here. So you've got to walk yourself and your world as you, in getting to know you both within and without, get to know how this world works, and have a look at how to be a living example in bringing forth solutions both within and without that will practically, sustainably stand eternally in bringing forth what's best for all. So we walk this process of equality and oneness within and without. That's not saving, rescuing. That is simple responsibility. Each human being, each individual within existence has that point of responsibility of assisting and supporting themselves as and for all to manifest this world into an existence that is in fact best for self and thus for all. So here are some points to take into consideration within your starting point of your self-forgiveness, your writing, your practical application. Bring it back to self always, self-equality and oneness within and without, getting to know yourself within and without, so that you can assist and support eventually other parts of yourself, and also this total world functioning in getting ourselves back to ourselves again, within and without. So we can stand together, live together, and express together in an existence that is already here, prepared for us. Everything's already here. The only thing that requires alignment is our starting point, is our living, is who we are. I mean, that's it. So let's get done. Let's stand together. Let's accumulate ourselves. So we walk our process for ourselves as for all, and flag point that tendency of going out there and wanting to be seen as a saint or a rescuer or a miracle worker or a good person or a god or a guru or whatever, in terms of realizing that going into that personality state in no way assists and support anything or anyone, let alone self, but only perpetuates hope and future projections into an internal mind reality that is not in fact here in actual physical reality, and won't be here unless we practically live it into existence as ourselves. Thank you very much.